Shema Israel. Shalom, shalom. The topic today is the Shema, but shalom on this beautiful Sabbath day that we had. You know, most definitely, hopefully everyone was blessed. Giving thanks to the Father, HalawaYaHaWaH, Hashem HaMashiach, Yahushua, Ruach HaKodesh. And like I said before, just wanted to reach out there on this beautiful Sabbath day and talk about one thing that I guess I was brought forth a question about the Shema. So I figured I'd just go ahead and elaborate on what the Shema is for a minute and to walk individuals through. The Shema is something that I practice, or something that a prayer that I say at least twice a day, but I find myself saying it sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a day. And a lot of the times what people don't really realize is that the Shema is actually a commandment. And what I mean by the Shema is actually a commandment. It's not something that I say, it's something that the Father says. Here we have a particular video. I don't support any of these particular videos or anything like that. I just use them as reference. So you can look up the URL or whatever, what have you, or just ask in a comment box below, and I'll give you a link to whatever, intel or information that I may come across. Please like, subscribe, help the frequency out a bit, share, and just help to get the Father's word out there of the truth. The reason why this is basically the saying of the Shema, and if you notice all of these little dots and funny looking symbols that's underneath, they manipulate the way that the Hebrew words are said, to where they take it from Paleo Hebrew or ancient form of enunciation, and they speak it in the form of Yiddish. It's or modern Hebrew. I'll give it this respect, modern Hebrew. But anyway, going through this particular site, this is the Father's name that's written in the Shema. And like I said before, I'll go through, and if you notice, they didn't put any of the symbols around on how to enunciate the Father's name, because it's different reasons. I'll go into that on a later video, or if you ask, I'll respond in a comment, like I said before. Like, subscribe, and share. Helps with the frequency, like I said before. But anyway, just to get back to it, this is a particular prayer that goes into the Shema and how it's actually said in Hebrew and the meaning of it in English. So if we go to Deuteronomy 6, I'll start here to just show you just a couple of key facts. First thing first, what is the Shema? Let's go here. Let's start it. What is the Shema? Shema Yisrael are the first 2 words of a section of the Torah that is the centerpiece of the morning and evening prayer service, encapsulating the monotheistic essence of Judaism, or being a Judean. It is entirely, in its entirety, the Shema consists of 3 paragraphs: Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 9, Deuteronomy 11, verses 13 through 21, and Numbers 15 through 37. And basically, the Shema, like I said before, the Shema is an important prayer. It's sort of like it's your vows to show that the Father, and it's a commandment, and that the commandment is that you acknowledge the law, statutes, and the commandments. Is it in reciting twice daily morning and evening, is a biblical commandment. In addition, we recite it just before retiring for the night, and as well as the Kodesh services on the Shabbat today to close it out. So basically, I just wanted to go here, and it's traditionally a Jew's or a Judean's last words on earth is the Shema. So which would basically consist of the first paragraph of the Shema. So remember we said that, or we do, it's in 3 different sections, but I normally say during the week when I rise and before I go to sleep, and most definitely the first part of the Shema. Then sometimes on the end of the night, at the end of the night, I'll close it off with the other 2 paragraphs, but I just normally keep it at just this one. Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 through 5. All right, another bit of information. Like I said before, I don't support these sites. I just, use them as reference. Fellowship Israel related to ministries. So the declaration of faithfulness is a type of marriage, vow, if you will, as well as a hymn of praise to the Father. It originated in the book of Deuteronomy as part of speech from Moses to the Israelites. I wanted to just go here, right here. The prayer itself is named after the first word of this passage. Shema means listen, obey, hear. In the simplest terms, means to hear. The Hebrew word pronunciation sounds more like Shema, but it also means to obey and to take action. So to hear the Father is to obey the Father, and to obey the Father is to hear the Father. So if you heard him, you obeyed, you listened, you took heed to his words. So now this is the commandment, and these are the statutes and judgments which Yahweh, your God, has commanded to teach you, that you may observe them in the land which you are crossing over to possess. Salakia. And then you may fear Yahweh Elohim, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, and your sons and your grandsons, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Therefore, hear Yisrael, and be careful to observe it, that it may be well with you, and that you may multiply greatly as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has promised you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Right here is the basic promise. The beginning, the first paragraph of the Shema. Oh, hear Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh is one, Echad. You shall love Yahweh Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. That's the first paragraph. That's the main paragraph of the Shema, and that's basically what it consists of, just loving him. Oh, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh our God, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Yahweh is one. You shall love Yahweh, your God, Elohim, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. That's part of reciting it 3 times a day. So, and especially the main paragraph, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 is the first paragraph, like I said before. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up, and you shall bind them as a sign on your head, on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. So basically, these words right here, and a general breakdown of what these words are supposed to mean to you, the Father and your love for him with all of your heart. You shall not tempt Yahweh Elohim as you tempted him in Massa. And Massa was a place, a location where they rebelled. They just wouldn't listen. They wouldn't hear. They wouldn't Shema. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahweh Elohim, his testimonies and his statutes which he has commanded you. And you shall do what is right and good in the sight of Yahweh, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land of which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to cast out all your enemies before you, as Yahweh has spoken. When your sons ask in time to come, saying, what is the meaning of the testimonies, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh Elohim has commanded you? And you shall let them know that we were slaves at once in the land of Egypt, and we observed his physical being and powers of him to release us from bondage from that particular place, from that particular area. And Yahweh commanded us to observe all these statutes, to fear Yahweh, our Elohim, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive. As it is this day, then it will be righteousness for us, if we are careful to observe all these commandments before Yahweh our Elohim, as he has commanded us. As he has commanded us. And he commanded us to hear Israel, hear, obey Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Echad, you shall love Yahweh Elohim with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your strength. Total commitment to the Father's word, or total commitment to him as a being, as a person. It's all about picking up the continuing the praises of him, the dedication for him, to him. Yahweh did not set his love on, or Yahweh did not set his love on you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any other people, for you were the least of all peoples, because Yahweh loves you, and because he would keep the oath which he has swore to your fathers. Yahweh said, Yahweh has brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Therefore know that Yahweh Elohim, he is Elohim, the faithful Elohim, who keeps covenant and mercy for thousands of generations. What? And mercy for 1,000 generations with those who love him and keep his commandments. Therefore know that Yahweh, Elohim, he is Elohim, the faithful Elohim who keeps covenant and mercy for 1,000 generations with those who love him and keep his commandments. And he repaid those who hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack with them who hate him. He will repay him face to face. Therefore you shall keep the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which I command you today to observe them. Obey, Shema, observe. Salati. So as we see right now, that the Shema is not only a prayer, it's also a commandment. And it shall be that if you earnestly obey my commandments, which I command you today, to love Yahweh, Elohim, and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, then I will give you the rain for your land in its season, the early rain and the latter rain, that you may gather in your grain, your new wine and your oil. And I will send grass in your fields for your livestock, that you may eat and be filled. Take heed to yourselves, lest your heart be deceived, and you turn aside and serve other gods and worship them, lest Yahweh's anger be aroused against you, and he shut up the heavens so that there be no rain, and the land yield no produce, and you perish quickly from the good land, which Yahweh is giving you. Therefore, you shall lay up these words of mine in your heart and in your soul, and bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. What? You shall teach them to your children, speaking of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall write them as on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, that your days and the days of your children may be multiplied in the land which Yahweh swore to your father to give them, like the days of the heavens above the earth. For if you carefully keep all these commandments which I commanded you to do, to love Yahweh, your Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to hold fast to him, then Yahweh will drive out all these nations from before you, and you will dispose greater and mightier nations than yourself. Every place which the sole of your foot treads shall be yours, from the wilderness and Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even to the western sea, shall be your territories. Even the shores to the western sea shall be your territory. No man shall be able to stand up against you. Yahweh Elohim will put the dread of you and the fear of you upon all the land where you tread, just as he said to you. Behold, I set before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahweh, Elohim, which I command you today. And the curse is if you do not obey the commandments of Yahweh, Elohim, but turn aside from the way which I command you today, to go after other gods which you have known not. To go after gods which you have known not. That's my second paragraph of the Shema. Now I'm going into the third paragraph of the Shema that I state daily. And that one was Deuteronomy Chapter 11, verses 13 through 28. Now the third and final paragraph of the Shema. And when you recite the Shema in its entirety, like I said before, it consists of 3 paragraphs or 3 sections. And this one here is, again, Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel. Tell them to make tassels on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and put a blue or purple thread in the tassels of the corners. And you shall have the tassels, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yahweh, and do them, Shema, do them and do them, and that you may not follow the harlotry to which your own heart and your own eyes are inclined, going by your own will, your own way, and that you may remember and do all my commandments. Remember and do all my commandments, and be holy for Elohim, your God, and be holy for Elohim, your God. Remember and do all my commandments, and be holy for your God, Elohim. I am Yahweh, Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your El. I am Yahweh, Elohim. And I just want to end this, I'm not going to keep you here too long today. I don't want to keep myself here too long, but just to show you that the Shema is actually a commandment. The Shema is actually a commandment that we're supposed to follow, or that we're supposed to say every day, 2 times a day. At least 2 times a day, but like I said before, I say this one, the first paragraph, first, Shema Yisrael, Yahawa Elohaicha. Yahawa Eloheinu, Yahawa Echad. You shall love Yahawa Eloheinu or Elohaicha with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And basically in Hebrew, Shema Yisrael, Yahawa Eloheinu, Yahawa Echad, Ve'ahavta et Yahawa Elohaicha, B'chol Ve'havcha, B'chol Nefshecha, B'chol Ve'hodecha. In Hebrew, basically, that's what I say first thing when I get up in the morning time, and the last thing that I say when I go to sleep. But on special occasions, I'll say Deuteronomy 6, verses 4. Then the next part of the Shema, Deuteronomy. It's quicker to do this. So, like I said before, the first part of the Shema is Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 through 9. The second part of the Shema is Deuteronomy 11, 13 through 21, and Numbers 15, 37 through 41. That's the complete Shema, but the first paragraph of the Shema is what's stated here. So not there. Shema Yisrael, Yahawa Eloheinu, Yahawa Echad. And you shall love Yahawa Elohaicha with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your means. Some words translate as means, strength, might. It's just your whole being of your person. And these words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart. You shall remember those words, that particular part, to your heart. And you shall teach them to your sons and speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk on the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be from ornaments between your eyes. And you shall inscribe them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. And it will be, if you hearken to my commandments, that I command you this day to love Yahawa Eloheinu or Elohaicha, and to serve him with all of your heart and with all of your soul, the Shema. I will give the rain of your land. I will give give the rain of your land at its time, the early rain and the latter rain, and you will gather in your grain, your wine, and in your oil, and you will give, and I will give grass in your field for your livestock, and you will eat and be sated, and you will eat and be sated or full. Be aware, lest your heart be misled, to you to turn away from worship strange gods and prostrate yourself before them. And the wrath of Yahweh will be kindled against you, and he will close off the heavens, and there will be no rain, and the ground will not give its produce, and you will perish quickly from upon the good land that Yahweh gives you. And you shall set these words of mine upon your heart and upon your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for ornaments between your eyes, couplets between your eyes. You shall know them. Did I finish that? So like I said before, the Shema is a commandment. Furthermore, or moreover, and you shall teach them to your sons, to speak with them when you sit in your house, and when you walk on the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise. Again, it's saying the same thing through chapter after chapter. Then the final part of the Shema, Numbers 15, verses 37 through 41. Numbers chapter 15, verses 37 through 41. And it reads, Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, Yisrael, and you shall say to them that they shall make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and they shall affix a thread of sky blue or purple, well, it's purple, on the fringe of each corner. This shall be the fringe for you, the fringes for you. And when you see it, you will remember all the commandments of Yahweh to perform them, Shema. And you shall not wander after your own hearts and after your eyes, after which you are going astray, meaning straying towards other gods or other things are more important than your Father, the one that created you, so that you shall remember and perform all my commandments, and you shall be holy to your God. You shall be holy to Elohim or Eloheinu. You shall be holy to Eloheinu. I am Yahweh Eloheinu. Yahweh Elohaicha. I am Yahweh Elohaicha, who took you out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh Eloheinu. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and just close it out. Basically, thank y'all, everyone, for coming here today and stopping past. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Most definitely, I'm going to close out with this. Yahweh will bless and keep you. Yahweh will make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yahweh will lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. So they shall put my name on the children of Yisrael, and I will bless them. Stay blessed. Stay blessed, and most definitely, if you don't practice the Shema, then most definitely that's something that you might want to pick up. As we've seen here, that the Shema is, the Shema is a commandment. You're supposed to have those particular words. Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 through 9 in your hearts. Well, Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 through 5 on your hearts. You're supposed to remember to teach your children, your children's children, and therefore who on it, the people that talk about his name and the love for him, to the people that you meet on the street, to the people that you may walk past in just general conversation on the phone. If it's brought about, profess your love, confess your love, show your love, mention your love for your Father. And most of all, stay in tune. Make sure to say the Shema at least twice a day. Again, to the HalawaYaHaWaH for giving me the opportunity to reach individuals. May you send more discernment towards me and understanding. Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Uvein Barakata Ruach HaKadesh Etlo Yekaret Latir. Most definitely stay blessed and stay in the word. The word, we're going to need it in these days. There's a lot of stuff going on in this world that they're not telling us, but it's about to get real. And even if it doesn't get real, just stand strong in the Creator. Remember, He is the great. Peace.